This week is a little bit more of an announcement than an actual message or whatever it is I do up here. The rubber is starting to meet the road concerning the diocesan initiative to restore the order of the Sacraments of initiation, also known as confirming third graders, is what we've been calling it, because that's what it is. The sacraments of initiation are baptism, confirmation, and First Eucharist. That is how they appear in the Catechism. And for a very, very, very long time, that is the order in which they were received. So what happened? Well, back in the day, it used to be that there was a much different attitude at large about the sacraments. At the turn of the 20th century, the line for confession every week was very long, and the line for communion every week was very short. And these days, it's kind of the opposite. Yeah. What happened is that the age of First Communion wasn't until about 14, 15 years old. And so Pope Pius X said, the source and summit of our faith is in the Eucharist. And the grace, therefore, contained in the Eucharist is so vital, is so important, that we should not be denying that to our young people. And so, therefore, First Communion was moved to the age of reason, which everyone determined is about 7 years old. Now, for whatever reason, they didn't take confirmation with it. They left confirmation where it was. And so for all of us, any of us who've been around since 1910, we all got confirmed, and some of us in middle school, most of us in high school, et cetera, et cetera. With all the changes in society and the changes in education, the Catholic Church has been doing things here in America very much the same way for decades now, for better or for worse. What needs to be remembered by all of us is that all the sacraments are grace freely given by God. Nothing we can do earns that freely given grace. All right? There's not a bunch of boxes we need to check off and then say, oh, I did X, Y, and Z, so now I can receive this sacrament. That's not how it works. And contrary to popular belief, that's never been how it works. It's grace freely given by God. The second piece is that with all the shifts in society, with all the shifts in the family dynamic, with everything that's going on in all of our lives, what the wisdom behind the sacramental order being restored is that it's putting the emphasis back into the family. That you all who are parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, you're the first teachers of the faith to your family. And that is very, very important. And it can also be very, very intimidating, too. My parents, that's why I went to Catholic school, because my mom and dad were like, you can let the nuns take care of it. And I'm painting with a broad brush here. But it's very important that we bring that back into our homes. And it's very important for the parish and the people in charge of catechesis in the community to give parents the tools as well. We need to catechize adults as well as teenagers, as well as grammar school kids. Whole community catechesis is what we're moving towards. Now, I've talked about this before, kind of ad nauseum. Some of you may be sick of hearing it. But next week, we're going to be putting out a comprehensive, it's probably going to end up being a pamphlet at this point, explaining in more detail what I just explained. More importantly, what's going on here in our community as the paradigm of religious education is changed. In the interim, what you need to know, and what I keep getting the questions about is, if you have a family or know a family that has young people who are staggered, I've got a 7th grader, I've got a 5th grader, I've got a 3rd, you got Irish twins through the family. We're going to do our best that everyone can get confirmed together, so that families aren't going to have to come to 3 confirmations in 1 year, all right? Every youth we have in this community is going to be confirmed in the next 2 years, all right? It's going to be a big project. Might be a little bit of a mess here and there, but we're, with the Holy Spirit and the grace of God, we're going to get through it. So what's going to happen is, this summer, as an aside, we're having vacation Bible school this summer for pre-K through 5th grade, and all grades above that are welcome and encouraged to come and help out. That's singing, dancing, activities, fun, not necessarily catechesis, but it's going to be a blast. 2 weeks after that, the second week of July, we're going to have our summer religious education program, like we always do. But the focus now is going to be on sacramental preparation for all the children, all right? The only requirement anymore, there's no service requirements, there's no written requirements. The only requirement is that the community, who's in charge of the community, needs to judge the readiness of the candidate. And that's going to change. I mean, the readiness of an 8th grader compared to the readiness of a 3rd grader, is going to be different. But that's really the only requirement. So, summer program for a week, sacramental preparation. We're going to offer Tuesdays during the school year, kind of like we do now, not as frequently, not every week, maybe once or twice a month. We'll have dates next week. And do it all in the summer. You can do it during the school year. And also, if we're trying to give more options. So if you need a different option for your family, you're more than welcome to call the office, talk to Father Mike, talk to myself, and we're going to get through this all together, I promise. So keep it all in your prayers, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Any other questions you have on that? Always, families, parents, anybody, feel free to call the office or send us an email at any time.